Hi, this is Shadi, and the science of unbalancing or Kuzushi is ever so evolving. Tilting someone, making them rigid, putting them in any of the 8 directions will make them very prone to throwing, no matter how big or how strong they are. So I got the idea from a video I watched by Decoding Judo. They were analyzing Maruyama's Uchimata. It's a 20-minute long video. I will link it in the description below. I highly recommend you watch it. So today what we will do is actually look at a few Japanese judokas, little examples that may seem almost invisible unless I truly point them out, where you would see just a little bit of flinching and twitching will completely compromise someone's balance and posture. So the first example that we will see is former world champion and Olympic medalist Ryusuke Haga. So he's very famous for this Tobikomi Uchimata or hopping Uchimata. He just hops on one leg, and as he hops, he pulls through and then turns around and just reaps with Uchimata, as you see here. But here, for example, against a strong Gasimov, he actually does a 2-stomp or like a stomp and then a hop. As you see here, it might look very invisible. Look, a stomp, then a hop. Let's see it again. A stomp, hop, and then he pulls through, and that stomp really destroys the balance. Let's talk about Maruyama's false step. This is from Decoding Judo. The false step, as Decoding Judo talked about, it's actually to really help with a springing action forward, but it also helps to put someone in a very defensive and tilting position. Let's see it again here against Smagulov. The false step. Look at Smagulov's stance and how his knees bent when he did that. Let's see it one more time. Here, let's see. Even like the false step, you can't actually notice it unless someone really points it out. So again, credits to Decoding Judo for the brilliant study that he did, or they did. So here, the false step. Look at Smagulov's knees and how he bent even further forward. Let's see here against Denis Vieru from another angle. The false step again really caused his knees to bend and put him in a tilting, rigid position. Here you see the knees. Before he even approaches or stabs in for Uchimata is when he actually did it. So that little twitch really opened up everything. And finally, the greatest twitch of them all by the king himself, Kosei Inoue against Katabuchi in the All Japan. So here, right versus left, they're fighting for the sleeve grip. Inoue pulls him through, gets the sleeve. You probably missed it, which is very normal, but Neil Adams brilliantly explains it. So here, let's see it again. The moment he catches the sleeve, watch Inoue's left knee, how it twitches, and watch Katabuchi's reaction, how he sinks down, opens his legs, becomes rigid and tilting even more forward, and thus very prone to throwing with this here Ken Uchimata or Oikomi Uchimata with a little hop. Let's see it again one more time. So here, the moment he gets the sleeve, watch his knee twitching and watch Katabuchi's stance completely shatters at the same time, and thus in a way took the invitation and entered with Uchimata. So again, if it's normal speed, you wouldn't even notice it. Let's see it again in normal speed this time after you realized what actually happened. So here, these little details that can actually revolutionize your game against strong, huge men like Gasimov and here Katabuchi. So Inoue is fighting for the grip. He turns around, takes the lapel in order to get closer to the sleeve. Here, you don't even see it unless, someone actually points it out to you. And I was amazed by studying this. So the twitches or the little tricks or examples are done. So if you want to click off, you can, but I actually want to talk about the evolution of judo with these little tricks. So whenever we talk about judo throughout the decades, Olympics and onwards, many people will undoubtedly say it has regressed. There's not much to it. They're constantly taking away from it, but That's not 100% true. Yes, there are techniques that you are no longer allowed to do. Every sport or every combat sport that wants to specialize in something, you're gonna go a different route. But that doesn't mean that you're not evolving in other things. For example, here, look at the kumikata at the very first Olympic Games. They just put their hands on each other and started grappling. The twitching is very, basic. They try to attack each other. It's kind of like your recreational class or your teenage classes. Actually, Paralympics, they actually make them grip each other and then starts. Children, same way. Handicap judo, same way. But at the highest of level, the battle for the grip fighting, which I will show in a second, is far more intense, far more subtle, almost to the point that it's almost impossible that you would easily put your hands, relatively easy on a high level judoka. They can grip you, but you cannot even lay a hand on them. And that's great, in my opinion, for not only the sport of judo or the art of judo or the competition of judo, but also self-defense wise. Having someone that they cannot even lay their hands on you while you can easily grip them and cripple them, upper body wise, is absolutely needed. So here, take a look at this demonstration by Kosei Inoue and Winston Gordon. This is a demonstration, but if you watch any competition today, World Championship, Grand Prix, Grand Slam, you would see that it is very much the same. Constantly breaking grips, constantly moving around to avoid being dominated, to have your posture compromised. It's not just the twitches for Kuzushi, the science of unbalancing. You would see them doing stuff like in 3D animation, etc. But believe me when I say this, the art is evolving to the point where there's little things that even judokas cannot pick them up unless they're really high level. So I can't imagine someone from another art, watching these, footage that I've shown and, noticing something. They will not notice the twitch. For example, the Ryunsuke Haga Uchimata, if you try it against someone like strong and tall like Gasimov, without that little stomp and then going in, you just hopped it through, you're gonna get countered. I tried it, I got countered. Many tried it. I've seen Uchimata counters in competition all the time, but these little twitches, they would put you in a defensive mode in a blink of an eye. That false step of Maruyama, you would see how their knees bent and they tilt even more forward, thus needing no effort in order to throw them or pull for Kuzushi. So even before the Kuzushi Tsukurikake, those little twitches, they can change everything. Katabuchi's example is sublime in my opinion, and Inoue is nothing short of a genius when it comes to, judo, Japanese judo, Ippon judo. When they say not so much strength, yes, it's competition, there's resistance, training with weights will always be needed, getting stronger, but the trick is to make someone even stronger than you, being compromised in their posture, position, and being defensive and prone to throwing. That's the Japanese way of doing it. So if you have anything else to add, please let me know down below. Also, consider supporting me on Patreon. I have exclusive content for the patrons only. I post there once a week. And also, don't forget to check out Josh Simon's shop in the description below and Decoding Judo's video in the description. This was Shadi, and as always, thank you for listening.